Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon and our continued coverage of Legends of Sleepy Hollow, the board game here. We have in our last video, I did my best to cover how to play the game. The rulebook is a little scant in my opinion. And so hopefully that video combined with this video, we're going to play through the introductory scenario. So technically there will be some spoilers involved here, but again, this is just the introductory scenario. There's not a whole lot here that is going to ruin anything for you. I'm not going to read you the secret cards that each of them have. I'll keep those to myself. I'm not going to read the backstories or anything like that. Basically, long story short, you as the Legends have been kind of hired by Karen Van Tessa to try and find Ichabod Crane. So the first place you start is the schoolhouse where Ichabod is the teacher. And you walk in the door, you see that there's this big mess, and so you're kind of filing through the mess to try and get clues as to where Ichabod might be. So all of these pumpkin tokens here are sitting on top of these pieces of paper. The pieces of paper represent clues that have been randomly shuffled up here. And so basically we just kind of need to go around this room, pick up these tokens, and address the the monsters as they pop up. So let's go ahead and get started, and hopefully this will give you guys a good indication of how to play the game. So, all right, I've got two ranged, Emily and Matthias, and two melee characters. Essentially, Elijah here is definitely our healer. He really doesn't, he has a nice attack that's very direct and straightforward, but he's going to take fear in doing so. So let's start with Matthias. I have started him on attack priority high. I don't know whether or not you're supposed to start it in a particular spot, and this should not be there. I apologize. And this should not be there either. That was from my tutorial. So he's all ready to go now. So we are going to go ahead and yes, just move him. He's going to go 1, 2. And so now he's in this space adjacent to the Shriek Root, and he has attack priority high. So we're going to spend an action to do hip shot. That's 1 damage. The Shriek Root does have a defensive 1, so I am going to take a fear to gain +3 for this attack. All right, so now essentially I'm doing 3 damage to him, but because I have a flintlock pistol, my damage is +1, so now all of a sudden I'm doing 4 damage to him past his defense, and I get to roll 1 die. It's going to be a pumpkin die here, and boom, we hit on a 2. So that is 2 plus my 1 additional 1 is 3, plus the additional for taking the fear is 6, plus the 1 from the original is 7, minus 1 for the defense. The Shriek Root has been one-shotted out of the picture. So, very good. All right. And so now Matthias is going to have to deal with this fear. He's going to be able to use it to take actions, but that just means that he won't be able to clean off his board sooner. That really only makes a difference for his skills here and or if he gains an item. All the rest of these can take as many action tokens as you want, but this one skill here, which is basically an area damage, he's shooting up everything in one spot, can only be used once per cycle of all these tokens. So basically taking on the fear has made it longer for him to cycle back through. All right, but he's gone. There is nothing provided to say, all right, this person's gone, then this person, then this person, this person. You just have to remember, especially if you're playing solo. So let's have Emily go next. So Emily has a range of 2, which you can see here on her bow. It's part of her card. This is all one space that she's in, and so is this. So she moved out of one big space into one big space. We can kind of put her in the middle, and then she'll take her 3rd movement here to move right there. Now, thinking about it, I could move Matthias 1 more, and I think I will go ahead and do that. You can interrupt your movement to take an action. So I moved 2. He's got a movement of 3. Did my hip shot action. I can continue my movement now, so thinking about it, I do want to go ahead and do that. All right, so Emily here has moved 2. She has a 4 total movement, so we might be able to move her in the end. So we're going to go ahead and take an action to... what she is going to do is she's going to track. Now this says choose a monster type to be your prey. So I don't feel like you start this one with a monster type, but I'm going to pick the Gobkin here as my prey. So I'm just going to put this up here above my board. I believe that's what these are for. It does not specifically state in the rule book, but this also now says that I can swap 1 skill. I don't have another skill to swap, and I may gain a fear to take 1 additional action. So I am going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to go ahead and spend that second action on my skill, which is Kill Shot. This says deal 5 damage. I don't have to roll any dice. I'm just dealing 5 damage to this Shriekroot, which should have a starting health of 10. These dials don't stay put super well. You have to be kind of careful how you put down your guy. But anyways, if this attack is versus your prey, which it now is, for Gobkins, I'm dealing double damage. So all of a sudden now, boom, I have one-shotted the Gobkin. The Gobkin does not have any defense listed on his card here, so he is off the board. All right. Emily has 2 more points of movement. Let's go ahead and have her finish 1, 2, and she will end up in this corner. All right. So my 2 ranged people have gone. This Shriekroot's way too far away to get to, so let's just have Elijah go next. He's going to go 1, 2. He will now spend his action on an environment action, which in this scenario states pick up 1 of these tokens. All right, so we pick up that token and we draw the top card here. This deck is shuffled. And I shall read to you. You notice a piece of paper half covered by a book. Pulling it out, it seems like it was torn out of a journal. On the paper is the image of some sort of twisted plant creature, similar to what you've seen tonight. Suddenly, the boards in the corner of the schoolhouse give way with a sharp splintering sound as roots burst up through the ground. Unlock spawn point 5. So, we now can review our sheet here. It told us that only spawn point 1 was unlocked, so I'm now going to take 5 here and add it into the corner, right where Matthias is. But we're okay for right now, and I'll explain that in a second. Now, Elijah only used 2 of his movement, so he'll spend a third to just end up in this area. And let's see here. Jeremiah is pretty much going to do the same thing. He's going to move 1, 2. He is also going to take an environment action to pick up this token. And we'll read this card. Okay. So, a little bit of a spoiler here. This is one of the keys. It doesn't say that on the card. If you notice here, and if you're wanting to not listen to my audio, there's a tiny little picture of a key right there at the top of the card. But there's no explanation that this is one of the keys, and you're supposed to be finding 5 of them. But it says, Ichabod's coat lies here. The sleeve is shredded as if some beast had torn at it, but there is no blood. Examining it further, you find a small brass key in the pocket. Okay, this was a bad example. Not all the rest of them say you found a key. But when this says, when 5 keys have been found, any hero may take an environmental action at the desk, which again, it does not say that this is the desk. You just have to figure out, okay, that's the desk. This is not a desk. This is not a desk. This is the desk. Again, just kind of a lack of information, but we have 1 of our 5 keys. All right, Jeremiah used 2 of his movement, so he'll use the second one to come back out here into the middle. All right, we have now, everybody has taken a turn. So this is when we move over to our journal here, and we're going to pick this up, and we're going to see round A says move, then attack. All right, so first we are going to move our Shriekroot, which has a movement of 1. Boom. And he does not have range, so he has no one to attack. All right, since this does not say spawn, we don't spawn anybody, so Matthias is okay in the corner there, and we don't touch this fancy tracker up there. Okay, so it's back to us again. So let's just start picking up some stuff. Yeah. Emily is far more effective as a shooter, so let's have her take an environmental action. You can move and take your actions in any order you choose. So she's taken an environmental action to pick up this token here. All right. I'm just going to get her a card. And so she's earned an item. So she found a loose chain. A rusted chain sits here. Was it used to haul something to the schoolhouse? It could be used as a weapon if needed. So she now has an item. All right, so I'm going to kind of scoot this stuff over here a little bit to place this down right here. And now you can see that this item can accept fear or an action point to use. It says you take 3 damage, it's got a range 2, and then you move the target into your location. You may take another action after using this action. So there you go. And to my knowledge, once I refresh and pull that item off of there, then I can use the chain again. All right. So Emily picked up the thing. She's got some movement now, so let's get her back in the fray. 1, 2, and she should have, yeah, health of 6. See, that thing just got bumped just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Elijah here, he's way off. He should be at 7 health. And you should be at 12. And you should be at 8. All right, so you're actually pretty much in the right spot. Okay. All right, so Emily's done. Let's go ahead and have Jeremiah go next. No, let's just get Elijah's turn out of the way. So he's going to pick up this as his action. So he will take an environmental action, pick up another card. And it says, looking through the papers on the floor, they seem to have recently graded mathematics exams. Ichabod was an incredibly harsh grader, counting an entire answer wrong for a missing decimal point. As you're looking at the papers, a boarded window creaks and then splinters as vines wrap around the slats. Unlock spawn point 3. All right. So we can find token number 3. We see that that's over here where the shriek root came out of, and there we go. He will then take 1 point of his movement to end up right here. All right. Yeah. So Jeremiah is going to go 1, 2. Yeah. And just stop right there. He will then take this up. He could move one more time. But this now says, okay. A book on its side, too perfectly placed to have been thrown here. Examining it, you discover a number of dried bloodroot flowers between the pages. Before you can examine them further, there's a noise of scraping wood on metal. Looking up, a new hole has been revealed in the wall. Unlock spawn point 2. So we're just finding all the bad guys and none of the keys. All right, so that's a little worrisome. I did not really want to leave Elijah stuck back here in this dead end if stuff was going to spawn there, but Emily can always go back and rescue him, I guess. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Jeremiah, I think, will just stay right there. The shriek root's going to move right here, so that'll allow him to move in, take a shot at it. Emily can shoot at it. I think we're okay. So Matthias here, he's just going to go 1, 2, take this action to pick this up. Come on, give me a key. Yep, it's a bookmark. A note stuck in a book seems to have been passed between 2 students. The note mentions Brahm bones showing up at the schoolhouse. The students saw Ichabod hide something in his desk as Brahm arrived. Again, when you have 5 keys. So this is what I'm saying. This is not a key. This is a bookmark, but it's just that tiny little symbol. And I certainly did not find Ichabod's coat as the first item last time. All right. So that was 1, 2. Let's just finish up and we'll move 3. This is all one space, so I can end up in this space here. And that is everybody. Everybody has gone. I needed to pass out some tokens here, these guys. needed to take environmental actions. Okay. All right. We are good. So we now look to here. This says move, attack, and spawn. So this thing is going to move. It doesn't have range, so it has nothing to attack. Nothing else is on the board, so now we will spawn. So we go over here, we pick this up. We see that it's a 3 pumplings. Yeah, pumplings. So we're going to take our d6, roll this, and it's a 6. Now there is no 6 on the board. This is actually the best roll we can get because according to these spawn rules in the book, if you roll a 6, the monster group does not spawn. So perfect for us. The 3 pumpkinlings don't spawn. To my knowledge, you go ahead and advance the spawn token anyways, the spawn tracker anyways. It doesn't clarify what you should do there. All right, so I'm feeling pretty good about how we need to continue about our day here. So it is back to us. Let's go ahead and let's shoot with Emily first. 3, then 2. No, actually, we're gonna do Jeremiah first. So Jeremiah is going to move 1 into this space, and then he is going to take. Is this how we want to do this? No. I do want Emily to go first, I believe. Yeah. All right, Emily's going to go first. Change my mind. She is going to use her loose chain here. All right, she's going to do 3 damage to the Shriek Root. -1 defense is 2. And then it's going to drag the Shriek Root into her space. She now gets to take a second action. She's going to use Hunter's Shot, which does 2, -1. So this thing's down to 2 damage. And Emily's turn is done. But at this point, you can see at the start of her next turn, she's going to clear all this off and get all of access to all this back. All right, Jeremiah now, on his turn, is going to go 1. He is going to take the smash action, which here says 1 die's worth of damage, but his relic also gives him +1 die damage. So he's actually rolling 2 dice for this smashing hammer attack. And he hits on a 4, which was enough to take out the 2 remaining damage of the Shriek Root. So that has been defeated. And so he may continue his movement now. So he will go 2, 3, and end up in here. All right. So Emily's gone. Jeremiah's gone. And now let's go ahead and have Elijah go. He's going to pick up this token, which tells us we found crumpled paper. You find a balled up piece of paper. Flattening it out, you read, "Is Mr. Crane humming again? I think he is more cheerful on exam days." Finish reading, you glance up to see something skitter across the floor and out of sight. Unlock spawn point 4, which is right here. Okay, so we have all the spawn points unlocked now, and only 2 keys. All right, so he took his action. Now he can just simply move 1, 2, 3. All right, and last but not least, we have Matthias here. He's going to go 1, pick up that token, spend an environmental action to draw this card, and we have found another key. Poetry. A partially burnt page rests on the floor here, as if someone had attempted to burn it but hadn't finished the job. The page is covered in mediocre poetry. Much of it is scratched out and rewritten. One line in this particular interest: "Holding my muse's letter in the secret place near to me as my heart." Okay, so that's our 3rd key. We need to find 2 more. And so he took 1 point of movement. He will then go 1, 2 to get out of there. All right, so everybody's gone now. We're going to come back over here. We're going to move, attack, spawn. There is nobody to move and attack with. So then we move this, and it's 1 Shriek Root. And it's going to be at spawn point 1. And so I'm okay with that. So we'll put this guy right there. The order means that they've already moved in attack. If you play, say, on the advanced difficulty, which is some cards that were included in the Kickstarter version, it would say spawn, move, then attack. So you would spawn it, then move and attack with it. But since the move and attack have already happened, that thing just spawns and then just sits there. All right, and it moves pretty slow too, so I probably will just ignore that thing for now. All right. Let's see, who do we want to go next? I mean, it really doesn't matter. Let's have Jeremiah go in here. He's going to take 1 point of movement. And he found an old chair. Ooh, a sturdy old chair sits nearby. It would make a decent improvised weapon in a pinch. Attack, 10 damage. Okay, so he's got a relic, but he doesn't have an item yet, so I can put that card there. Now, again, what's interesting here is the fact that if we use this to smash it over somebody's head, a monster's head, is it gone? It doesn't say discard it. So if I use this to attack and then clear off my stuff, can I use it again? I mean, that's a pretty hefty weapon right there to have access to. Again, not sure. It's not explicitly stated, but he's got 2 more points of movement, so he's going to come back out and end up right here. All right, Emily can move quite a bit, so she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, end up here in the corner. Let's take an environmental action to, and this I should have spent on him. Now she, at the beginning of her turn, should have cleared all this off, and the fear doesn't go away unless she's restored. All right, but she's going to take environmental action to pick that up, and let's see what it is. It is a sturdy board. Okay. Now, I can lock a spawn point in your location, cannot be used on spawn point 1. Now, I believe I have to place this in my accessories area down below here because I already have an item. And I guess if I'm sharing a space, I think it is, with another member, I can pass it off to them. But all right, that was all of my movement, my action. We are done. Matthias here, he's going to go next. He's going to take an environment action to pick up this. And okay, is this the 5th one? No, this is only the 4th one. So we know what that one is right there. Smudged chalk remains of something that had been intricately drawn on the floor here. It's hard to make out now, but it seems to have been a compass or a star shape, possibly a hex symbol. All right, that is our 4th key. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4th key. All right, so then he's going to use 1, 2 to end up right here. And then last but not least, I don't think 1, 2... All right, he can't make it into there, so I'm not going to bother pushing him there. Now, he can do some stuff here. He can take his action to bless. 3 restore to an ally, 1 restore to you. Well, he's got nothing he needs to restore. But... and again, there is no range specified. I don't know, though, do I have to be in the same space? If that's the case, then I certainly would have just ended myself here. Or can I, as long as I have line of sight on the person? This is not discussed in the rule book. So for now, we'll just say that I'm going to restore Matthias. In any combination of 3, I can take away fear from Matthias and or heal him back up. He hasn't taken any damage. All I need to do is restore that 1. And so that was his action for this round. All right, so everybody has gone. We now need to move and attack. And so this thing is just going to move 1, and he's nowhere near anybody. All right. So let us then continue. We're going to start with Jeremiah here. He's going to spend an environmental action to remove that, and we're pretty sure we know what this is. It is the 5th key. An angry letter. A letter tacked to the side of a desk addressed to Mr. Crane. The letter is from a student claiming Mr. Crane has no right to take the student's lucky rabbit foot and lock it away under his desk. The student threatens to get his papa to make Mr. Crane give it back. All right, that's just really just flavor text at this point. We now have the stuff we need. So I'm going to just move him out of the corner there, and that's basically his turn. Somebody else has to take the environmental action now. So let's have Elijah do it. So he's just going to move in here. One, he's going to take an environmental action at the desk, which says we can draw now card 113. And it says Ichabod's desk. Ichabod's desk is made of solid oak, but from the clues that you found, you locate the secret compartment and unlock it with the key from his jacket. Inside, you find a handful of letters, a small leather-bound book with Cotton Mather on witchcraft written on the spire, and a rabbit's foot on a chain. Gain card 114 and give it to the hero who performed the environmental action. So that is a very creepy looking lucky rabbit's foot. All right, so we need to slide some stuff here. You get the lucky rabbit's foot. And then it says open up 115. Okay, so read 115. 115 says, Horseman's Arrival. The schoolhouse door bursts open. Outlined in the pale moonlight is a black horse, its rider clothed in black, and atop his shoulders, nothing. With a guttural noise, the mounted rider enters the schoolhouse and draws his saber. Place the headless horseman in the center location of the schoolhouse. Ba-boom! He has arrived. You thought it would be several scenarios before we saw the headless horseman. Then we do 116. Place it face up next to the board. That is the horseman's stat card. Shuffle cards 117 through 123 and place them next to the board face down to make the horseman's action deck. The legends win this chapter when they defeat the horseman. So here is the horseman's card. We'll just add it here to this other list. So he's got health 30. His range varies. He's got a movement of 2. And his attack just simply says draw a card from the action deck and perform the action described. He gets +2 damage against legends in his own location. All right, so we'll put that there. That's his action deck. All right, so Jeremiah went. Elijah has gone. I still have 2 more people who get to go before we have another round here of them getting to do stuff. So let's have, we will have Matthias do a hip shot. He is going to take a fear for to add +3 damage, so that's 4. Oh, I forgot to set this to 30. Tick 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 tick. All right. Okay. So, and he doesn't have any defense. There's no defense listed on this card. So I'm hitting him for 4. Plus this is 5. Plus this roll is just a 1. So 6. But that's not a bad start. So he's down to 24. Okay. And then last but not least is Emily here. Emily. Now, I don't have the ability to make my prey be a something else, so I'm going to go ahead and just use kill shot here. It's just straight 5 damage. She doesn't get any damage bonus. She does need to get in range, though, so she can go 1, 2, and she can be right here. She's got line of sight from this space to this space. Line of sight rolls are pretty straightforward. So she's now 2 away. She's just doing straight 5 damage. So this thing's already down to 19. All right, so now at this point, everybody has gone. Okay, so we are moving, attacking, and spawning. I don't know which priority people should move and attack and spawn, but let's just start with the big bad guy first. So this says boot knife. The horseman makes the following attack. 2 damage, range 2. The legend takes 2 additional damage at the end of their turn unless they are restored before then. Okay, so he doesn't need to move. He is within range 2 of everybody. So then we look to attack priority. It is Jeremiah. So Jeremiah is going to take 2 damage, which is fine. He's our beefiest character. He's only down to 12 now. But we need to remember that if he's not restored, before then he's going to take an additional 2. Now I don't know whether that counts because we're about to restore him, period, right now. This Shriek Root is going to move right there and then be done. So yeah, I don't really know whether it matters. Yeah, but let's no, because I want to do that, and I'm not even worried about the extra damage. I'm going to try and knock this guy out right here and now. So we are going to start with Elijah. Elijah is going to restore first. That's officially the name of this action. And then I'm going to ward. All right. Okay, so this says now this says restore 2 to all heroes in target location within range, then place your ward token in that location. So I guess it has to be range 0. So he's got to move first. All right, fine. He moves first. Then he's going to place this out to protect everybody. All right, so everybody's getting +1 defense, but they're also getting +2 damage. And I forgot that Jeremiah here has +1 defense, so you actually only took 1 damage back there. All right, so Elijah is done. Now, Jeremiah here is taking the restore action, so does that count or not? But either way, he is going to move in here, and he is going to use his action with the old chair and just do 10 straight damage to this guy. Boom. He's down to 9 already. +2 because of the ward token. So he's down to 7 already. See, I think I can take this guy out. All right. Let's see here now. Matthias is going to go, and it's going to be 1 die damage for the entire area. So let's... Oh, no, I can't. See? I left myself with only a fear token. I have to spend this before I can restore, and I cannot place it on my barrage skill. So this is where this keeping this on your board or not makes a difference. So the best I can do is hip shot. Now see, if I had used Elijah's ability to restore Matthias, then maybe he would have been able to do it. But instead, we are just doing this action, which is going to continue to add fear. So he's going to continue to only be able to do hip shot. But I'm doing 1 damage, 4 or 5, we already know all this. 5 plus this roll is 6. So he is down to just 1 damage. And so what we're going to do here with Emily is use her fear on the loose chain. The loose chain has a range of 2. She will drag this sucker all the way over and deal 3 damage. And he has been defeated. Again, this is an introductory scenario, so we weren't expecting the toughest headless horseman ever, but there you go. All right. So at this point, we have been successful. What we would do now is go to the epilogue, the next page in the scenario, and read the epilogue, and it would tell us how it would give us an ending to the story. It would proceed from there. We don't have to deal with this Shriek Root. Don't know what happens to it. But to my knowledge, again, it's not really stated. Do I get to keep like my sturdy boards and my loose chains? Do I keep the lucky rabbit's foot? Do I keep the old chair? because these are all really nice items, or are they scenario specific that I have to leave them behind? This is not explicitly covered in the rules. If it is, then I missed it and I apologize. But still some questions to be answered. But I'm going to leave you here. I'm not going to read through the scenario ending to just keep spoilers at a minimum. I feel like revealing the fact that the guy is going to come out at the end was spoiler enough. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about Legends of Sleepy Hollow, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, if you would like to see more content like this in the future, I don't know if it's going to be Sleepy Hollow content, but I try and produce 2 to 3 videos a week. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.